Hi guys, my name is Karthik and I am from executeautomation.com, and welcome to another video series from Execute Automation on web automation testing with Cypress. Cypress is another great automation testing tool which is really interesting, and I thought why not just create a video series on it and understand how it works. Alright, so let's get started. Cypress. Cypress is an open source front-end testing tool built for modern web. So after a long time, an open source tool, which is something not Selenium at all. So Cypress is not in Selenium. Most end-to-end testing tools are Selenium based, which is why they all share the same problem. To make Cypress different, we built a new architecture from the ground up. Whereas Selenium executes remote command through the networks, Cypress runs in the same run loop as your application. This is the statement that I took from the Cypress website. And it is really cool to see that there is a new tool, open source, much faster, reliable than Selenium is currently available in the market as an alternative to Selenium. Because we have been discussing in Execute Automation many different tools like Protractor, Npm, Selenium, Catalan Studio, and many other tools. And all these tools share same library under the hood, which is nothing but Selenium. Well, this is first tool after a pretty long time, after coded UI testing or test complete or Ranorex, I am seeing Cypress as an tool which is completely not an Selenium thing. Well, how does it differentiate and how it works? So before Cypress, while I was working with Protractor automation and we have a course on it, we used to choose the framework like Mocha, Jasmine, QEUnit, and Karma. And then we install Selenium, and then we also choose Selenium wrappers, which is nothing but Protractor and WebDriver, something like that. And then we choose assertion libraries like Chai and expect.js. But all these makes our own framework. But with Cypress, it's all in one testing framework, assertion library with mocking and stubbing, all without Selenium. That's really cool. And this is again I have took from the Cypress website, and this is something very interesting I would like to share. That's why I've just copy pasted the whole snippet from there. But the one thing which I really like about Cypress is it's really faster and much easier, more robust, automatic waitings, and all those cool things that you can see from Protractor. Selenium is all available within Cypress out of the box. So the features other than what we discussed is like it time travels. You can see that it automatically takes a snapshot of your test, and you can just hover your mouse and it automatically shows what happened during the test execution. That's really cool. And it is real-time loading, so you can see that in your browser. Automatically the application opens into your browser and then it just runs the test, which is really cool. And there is something called a spices, steps, and clock. I have never used this functionality yet. I guess it's for the unit testing, but this is going to be really cool as well. We'll be discussing about that. And then it has a consistent result because Selenium always fails most of the time because of element not found, or we don't have our own mechanism. I mean, Selenium works if we have the waiting mechanism, if we add them, but Cypress add those things out of the box within the code, and you don't really have to worry about them. That's really cool again. Debugging is much easier because it's JavaScript, and it has an automatic waiting, as I said, and then it has a network traffic control, which is really cool. And also it has screenshots and videos, and it automatically takes that for us and it stores that in a dashboard kind of fashion, which is really cool. And this dashboard is something we'll be discussing while we start working with Cypress. So these are some of the great features that Cypress has got out of the box, which I don't think other tools currently has, and even many different tools that I have been talking about has no such features out of the box. But this tool, so lightweight, and it has all those great features which a great big automation testing tool has to possess. So let's get started and understand how things work in much deeper while we start installing and working with it. Alright, so this is the cypress.io website, and you can see that it is very straightforward to install Cypress in our machine. So you need to use the Npm Install Cypress to start working with Cypress. That's it. That's very super simple way of working with it. So what I'm going to do is this. I am going to download this, or maybe I can use this command, but for now, for our demonstration purpose, we are going to make use of creation of a new folder and then just use the npm command to straightforwardly use the Cypress to install it and start working with it. So the first thing we need to do is the creation of a directory. So I'm just gonna say like Cypress test, and this is gonna create a folder for us, and then I'm gonna go to the Cypress test, and here the first thing you need to do is to init the npm, because you need to first of all create the package.json so that you can start installing the npm related stuff. So this is the command to start working with it, and it will tell you that you need to give some package name. So I'm just going to leave it to Cypress, and the version and the description is test Cypress working, and then the entry point can be index.json and then index.js, and then the test command, just leave it, and git repo, I'm just going to leave it, keyword, and the author is Karthik, and the license, and then I'm going to hit OK. That's it. So now if you just go over this particular folder, and then if you do an ls, you can see there is a package.json file that we just created from the command there, right? And now we need to do an npm installation much easily, like from this particular command. So npm install, so this can install the Cypress for us. So you can see that the Cypress is currently installing into the particular folder, and there you go. So it's exactly the same thing for Windows as well. You need to install npm in your machine, Windows machine, and then you can start working with it, right? This is a Mac operating system, so it's very simple as well, pretty much like what you do in Windows. And now I'm going to open this in the code or Visual Studio Code to show you like how the folder structure is going to look like. You can see that we have a node modules which has all those stuffs. This is the package.json that we just created, and this is the package log which has been created automatically as well, and this is the node module, right? So everything is right now available here. The last thing we need to do is to start working with Cypress, but we need to run the Cypress. So basically, in order to write the test case in a protractor or any other automation testing tool, you just right click and create a folder like test, and then you start writing the TypeScript file or JS file and start working with it. But in this case, it is a little different. All you have to do is to run the Cypress. So in order to run the Cypress, it is mentioned in their documentation that you can use a very easier option, which is like Cypress open, to open the Cypress within this particular code. So you can just do Windows Shift P or Command Shift P, something like that. And here you can see there is an option called toggle integrated terminals, so you can open that, and then you need to type something called as Cypress open here. So in order to do that, you can just hop over to the Safari browser so that we can see like how the documentation is actually mentioned. So as you can see here within this particular website, they have mentioned how to open the Cypress for the first time. So you can see the Cypress actually sitting in the node modules of the .bin directory, and here you can open the Cypress. So I'm just going to copy this command, and then I'm going to go all the way over here, and I'm going to paste it and hit enter. So you can see that currently Cypress is actually opening, and it has just opened here. You can see that it is telling you that to help get started, we have added some folders and examples just to your project. Try to run them. So okay, you can see there is a folder called Cypress being added into our project right now, and they have some sample project for us just to demonstrate like how to write the test basically. So you can see this test is currently running on their own Cypress customized version of Chrome browser, and you can see the test is currently running really faster, and it's cool. So you can see that it's doing so many tests for us, and it demonstrates you like how the test has been written and how that you can use the drag and drop options and all those stuffs. Very straightforward and much easier as well. So that's what is Cypress. So basically you just did a simple command like Cypress open, and everything works fine. And there is another way that you can do is to go to the scripts, and here you can just call the Cypress open of Cypress open, something like that. So if you do this, this will also do exactly the same thing that you are doing right now right here. So I can just stop this maybe like this, and if I just do npm run Cypress open, you can see that it is currently open in the Cypress. So basically, if you add the Cypress open in the script here, so this will also do exactly the same thing that you are seeing, that you saw before, right? That's simple it is. That's what we can do with the Cypress. And now I'm going to add some test. So basically, in order to add the test, as mentioned in the documentation, you can go to the integration, and here you can create within the example folder, you can create a new file, and let's call this as something like EA test or something .spec.js. So this is what they write. They call the spec because they try to write like a Jasmine test or behavioral driven development test. That's how they call it. So we can write that as well. So I'm just going to increase the font size a little bit. Editor zoom so that you can see it very clearly. And then I'm going to start writing the code. So basically, if you are very familiar with the Mocha or Jasmine, you may be finding this very, very easy because it's pretty much exactly the same child of those extensions. So basically, you can see that we can use the describe block here, and then I can just start writing the code pretty much like how I do with our protractor test. So this is my first Cypress test. And then I can use the lambda expressions here, so or the arrow functions, and then I can open something like this. So this is the describe block, and within this describe block, as you know, in Jasmine we use an it block, which is going to be like expectation. You can see the intelligence is very cool as well. So basically it's a Mocha extension, and the intelligence is showing us all the information is there. And here I'm going to say like navigate to EA site, something like that. And then I can do an arrow function here, and then I can start writing the code. So basically, not write the code or maybe not start in order to visit a website, you can just do like this, CY or nothing but the Cypress, and then there is something called as visit. So I can just do visit, and if I hit if I open this parentheses, I can start typing the code, the URL here. So executeautomation.com slash, I guess it's demo site slash login.html, and I'm gonna save this completely. So once I save this, and now if I go back to the Cypress, you can see that the EA test has been added. So if I click that, instantly you can see that currently it is visiting that particular website. So fast and so fluid it is that you just write the code in here and automatically the test start to run. So if you do any changes here, let's say if I'm going to visit maybe google.com, I'm just going to visit that. I'm going to save it. You can see the test automatically runs. I'm not even compiling the test right now, and the test started to run. And you can notice that we have decided you are using an older version of Chrome. So basically, this is an extension of the Chrome which Cypress is currently running, and it is running as if like a Chrome browser, but it is not the actual Chrome browsers. That's, I guess it's a downside of the Cypress itself, because currently they only support Chrome browser. They don't support IE, Firefox. I think Firefox beta is something kind of working, but not 100% sure. And IE won't work, Edge won't work, Safari won't work. They just run on a customized Chrome browser. That's really, really downside of this whole Cypress itself, comparing to any other automation testing tool available in the market. And you can see that currently the intelligence was not just that great as how it was for the Mocha. In order to eradicate this problem, what we can do is we can create what is called as a tsconfig.json file within this particular project. So basically you can go over here or somewhere here. So I can just create a tsconfig.json, and you can just add these commands, which is going to be pretty much like how you do for for the TypeScript, but this file should sit within the Cypress. Sorry about that. I'm gonna move it. So I have saved it right now, and now if you go to the eatest.spec, so if you open the parentheses right now, oops, maybe I need to close this particular Visual Studio IDE. So I'm gonna close that, and now if I open this once again, so you can see that the Cypress is currently being identified. And now if I just do a dot, you can see all the methods related to the Cypress is currently coming. That's really, really cool. And now if I just do visit, you can see the method is currently coming, and the IntelliSense is also working for us. So that's exactly is the power of this particular tsconfig.json file. So basically you can add the base URL of the node modules, the types as Cypress. The types is nothing but the type definition files. Again, if you are not very familiar with the type definitions file, please go ahead and watch the TypeScript fundamental video series of Execute Automation channel. You will know how to work with TypeScript and how to work with these kinds of options there, right? So that's exactly what happened here. So basically I just did that, and the IntelliSense is currently working. And the next thing which I'm going to do is I have visited the website and it has opened for us, but now we need to enter the username and password for this website because it has a login page. So basically I have stopped the test running, so I'm just going to run that again so that you can see that instantly the test will start running once you change any code in there. So you can see currently it's visiting. Oops, I think I have to save this. So I have saved it. You can see instantly it is going to the Execute Automation website, and now I want to enter the username and password in the text box. So if I want to identify this particular controls, basically in our other tests like Selenium, we used to go to the Firefox or Chrome, and then we go to the console and identify those controls. But here you can see there is a select our playground, so that it will automatically show you what control is that. So it's an username text box, and it is a password text box, something like that, right? That easy it is. So you can do that as well. So you can see there is a code for this as well. So you can print that in console or copy that to the clipboard. You can do all sort of jazz here. So I'm just going to write one more it block here. So it's going to be an it login to application. And then I'm just gonna use the maybe the CSS file or XPath, something like that. So I'm just gonna use a get. So there is a method called get, and this get method, you can see there is so many things that you can do with this get. So I'm just gonna do an input of, this is the selector basically, and then I'm just gonna give name as, because I know the name of the text box is username, and I'm just going to use the exact same thing here, and I need to type a value there. So when I say type, you can see there is an option called type, and I can pass a string to the text box. So basically I need to pass the text as admin. So once I save this, instantly you can see the execution is happening and it has entered the value as admin there. That cool it is. So you can keep on doing exactly the same options, like working with all those controls and performing an operation, something like that. So I'm just going to do exactly the same thing right now. So I'll just come over here, and let's not keep on writing the code. I'm just going to copy paste some of the code that I have already written. I'm just going to save it, and now you can see that it is doing things much faster and easier in an instant manner. Even you don't really have to save it, compile it, and then you have to run the test. Basically once you save it, it automatically runs the test for you, and you can see the result instantly in very, very easy fashion. So that's the power of Cypress itself. So basically Cypress just executes things very fastly for us. And another great thing about Cypress is they call it as time machine. So once you execute the test, if you hit there, you can see that it will also take a screenshot of what has happened. So it also shows you like what has happened there, and it also shows you like the DOM snapshot, so before and after. So you can see that it's something happening there. So before it was like that, and after it was like that, and then it performed the click operation, and then there is a form submit, the page loaded, and then it is entering things, and then it's gonna enter these values. So you can see all these things are coming much easily. You don't really have to do anything for us. The code just works like how it has to work for the web browsers. The only problem that we have right now is it currently runs on its own customized version of Chrome. The Chrome can be older, but it's not pretty new as well, and it won't support any other browsers other than Chrome, because currently they are still developing. But the tool is kind of fancy and cool because the code that you write is here is very, very smaller, very lesser, and it is much easier to write as well. So you can see there is a click type select, so that the drop down selection, I just type like select and it just selected that particular value. All those things are very, very handy and easier. It's really, really cool. So I really like the tool because it's easy to work with, but there are so many other tools available to do exactly the same kind of stuff. But this tool is really a good tool to get started, at least for the developers, not for the testers, because developers more care about how their application runs on a unit testing level, and this tool can really help them. So that's it, guys. So this is what is the tool about. Let me know your thoughts and idea of using this tool, and how you feel this tool is all about, and how this tool can be improved, so that we can give a comment and feedback about this tool to the whole Cypress team itself. So that's it, guys. Once again, thank you very much for watching this video, and have a great day.